Hello everyone, time for a live feed, just because. Alright, send out some of these invites because that's what we do here. Send. Right, I better send one to bloody Neil, because if I don't, he'll whinge about it. Send. Lovely. Brilliant. Good stuff. Fernando's joined us. Steve's joined us. Says Fernando's joined twice. Matt's joined us. Thanks for joining, fellas. Neil's joined us. Australia. Lars has joined us. Steve Minix has joined us. Thanks for joining. Much appreciated. It's good. Tony Gutierrez is with us straight off the bat. Bloody oath, Tony. You've broken a record, mate. Usually you're the last to turn up. How is everyone today? Good, I hope. So today I'm going to tinker on the Viterra a bit more. I'm going to rebuild the rear diff, give that a good grease up. Kyle's joined us. Thanks for joining, Kyle. What am I doing? I'm going to rebuild the rear diff and that, possibly install some lights in the body. Dave Wall's joined us. Thanks for joining, Dave. We're also going to have a bit of a discussion. Okay, a bit of a discussion time. Bob's joined us. Thanks for joining, Bob. Going to have a bit of a discussion about some of the stuff that's posted in the group, what to post, what not to post, etc. And we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about the scale vote post that I posted, because apparently there's a few mixed ideas about that. Phil's joined us. Thanks for joining, Phil. Much appreciated. I can't see comments yet because Facebook's retarded. Quick scroll. There we go. Now they're coming through. Lars says, ha ha, Axial. Funny you say Axial, Lars. I got tagged in a post today on Facebook saying I'm one of Axial's top fans. So, and if I wanted to add some sort of badge to my profile, I'll have a badge. Uncle Bob in the house. Lars says, hey Bob. Steve says, all good, mate. All good, you all right? So, for those that don't know, I bought a Viterra for $100. The reason I bought it was to tidy it up and resell it, essentially. Most of you know Viterra is not my favourite brand. All right, I'll put that out there. Viterra is not my favourite brand. But for $100, you'd all buy it. So anyway, the truck turned up. It was pretty dirty, pretty messy. No grease. I've already rebuilt the front diff and the transmission, and it was pretty scarce of grease in there. So we've fixed that, we've re-greased that. I'm yet to do the rear diff, that's on today's agenda. I got rid of the Ford Bronco body that was on it. And I have put a K5 Blazer body on it. Now, the funny story with this body is, a while back when I bought some tracks. You guys seen the tracks that I bought. I bought those, I bought some wheels. When I bought those, the body that's on this truck now came with all of that stuff. And then Harley ended up with the body, and it just sort of sat on his shelf. And then I said to Harley, dude, have you still got that body? Because it's a tidy body that wasn't going to cost a fortune. So here's how the truck looks at the moment. It's come a long way. It looks a lot cleaner. I took my chrome pen and did the Viterra writing on the side there just to give it a bit of, styling. So that's where it's at. I've put a new set of beadlocks on it. I've put some Dick CPEC made country tyres on it. I've changed the shocks. I've put some 90mm internal spring shocks on it that I had laying around. The factory shocks had just sort of given up. And now we've got some shocks that actually want to do something. So that's good. I know it lowered the height of the truck, and I'm not really phased about that. I'm not huge on jacking trucks up through the roof, etc. Like Tony. Tony loves jacking trucks up. The bigger the tyres, the better for Tony. BC Racers joined us. Thanks for joining, BC. So I've gone for a smaller, more scaled look with the tyres. So if I hold the diff sort of there, it gives you, it's a good size. It's not too big. I know that whoever ends up with the truck can hit full lock on, full flex, and not have to worry about tyres rubbing the body. Because one, that's annoying, and two, it makes your truck, in my opinion, look cheap. When your truck's out And I'll explain what I mean before anyone gets upset. When your truck's out crawling and you go up over a rock and then you hear that, it's not good. It's just not. So, smaller tyres, they're 100mm tyres with the bead locks. I think for a dirty old Chevy, it's come up pretty tidy, right? I'll take the body off. Now, set that to the side. So, what else have we done to it? Tunkus joined us. Thanks for joining, mate. We've thrown a Year Racing 20 kilo servo in there because the servo that was in it was less than subpar. It was the Tractus 2075 Tractus / servo. So, not good for a crawler. Tony says drawings contest. Tony, where have you been, mate? You know we announced the winner for that and Rob's already got his prize. Anyway, so we've smashed a 20 kilo Year Racing servo in there. I've rebuilt the trans. I've gone through, tidied up the drive shafts, put some heat shrink around the retainer clips on the drive shaft. So essentially that'll make it so that the retainer clip can't open up and the pin can't come out and then your drive shaft can't fall apart on the trail. Kevin's joined us. Thanks for joining, Kevin. New contest. Are you going to donate a prize, Tony? How about some of those fancy wheels and tyres that you've got? Anyway, so we've done that. I've ordered new front and rear bumpers. I managed to get the front and rear bumpers with all the extensions and such that I need to run that body for $16. $16. And local. One of my local shops. I'm getting it posted to me. Now, I know I could just drive and get it, but by the time that I jumped in the car and drove right into the Adelaide City and come back, I would use more petrol than it cost me to have them delivered. So, bugger it, I'm getting them delivered. I was having a chat with Mark Dunlop last night. Dunlop? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, Mark, the Viterra guy we were speaking to the other day, had a chat with him and he's got me a motor cover. So I shot him some money last night and he's going to post it Friday. So we're going to have a cover for the motor with the spur gear. I don't like running an exposed spur gear. It's the easiest way of having a rock fly in there wrecks your gears, especially when you're running plastic gears. I've ordered a new spur gear, well, a pack of 2. So whoever ends up with the truck will have a spare. That was like $20 delivered for 2. So I figured that's cheap enough. Your blazer? No, don't think so. Anyway, you're distracting me now, Tony. So I've got a cover coming for that. We've upgraded the servo, we've rebuilt the front diff, we've rebuilt the transmission. Today on the feed, we're going to rebuild the rear diff. I know there's more. It's now running on this. Got rid of the old DX2. Those Tactic radios, in my opinion, for a cheap radio, are pretty bloody good. And you don't have to worry about receiver wires anywhere, because I don't have one. So I've put it on that radio, which is fine. They're more than good enough to go out and do wheeling. We've all had 10.2s. We've all had those radios. They're not a bad radio. They're not an awesome, wicked best radio, but they're not a bad radio. So yes, that's where we're at with the Viterra. Look, the shocks work. Before, you push down on it and it stayed there. So that's lovely. And these are some old shocks. I've had these for a long time. Probably 4 or 5 years. I pulled them off my original old chassis. It was like, look, they're not being used. I'll put them on here. Show us how to set the endpoints again. I can do that if you want. If you really want me to, I'll show you how to do it. I can show you how to do it on this radio. So I'm winning. No, don't. These shocks, Tony, I purchased these at my local shop. And when I purchased them, I think they priced them wrong. They were like, I think it was $25 for a set of 4. And then a few months later, I went to get some more because they're pretty good shocks. And the price was like $65 for 4. I was like, dude, what's going on? It's like, oh, we priced them wrong. Okay. So anyway, I scored with those, and they've been brilliant. I've had them for years. So yes, setting the endpoints on those radios, Tony, is really easy. If you want me to show you, I'll show you. If you're taking the piss, go and watch my YouTube video on how to set endpoints. So yes, whilst we have a bit of a chit-chat, I'm going to whip the diff out of the back of this, and we can sort of chit-chat about what to post in the group, what not to post. That's probably the more important thing. And stuff. This the scale post. Tony says he scored a deal. First thing we're going to do actually is remove the front bumper. No, I'm not, because that holds the servo mount. Ignore that. Ignore that. I'm going to start removing the rear diff, which, if I remember correctly, is pretty simple. What deal did you score, Tony? 5 lug wheels. You didn't buy some more fancy Vanquish wheels? So what's everyone else up to while I'm starting to pull this truck apart? First things first, shock absorbers. Remove those. Have a magnetic parts tray for your bolts. Top tip. Boom Racing Steelies. I don't mind the look of those. I don't. Right. Remove these. Then I'm going to flip my truck upside down, and I'm going to remove both the bottom links, and then we can just then we've got to do the top link, and then we can whip it out. Last, I don't understand what not to post. It's an RC. It's an RC group to post RC stuff. Am I missing something? Yes, a lot of people are posting stuff that's not RC related. That's what it is. So that's, and I mean, it's not just that too. Probably what's been worse lately is the amount of people that are just posting YouTube links. Yes, I post my YouTube link, but I also post a lot of stuff on the group. I post pictures, I post builds, I post so many other things. I don't just post my YouTube link. So if you're a member of the group and you've got a YouTube, that's fantastic. But please do not only post your YouTube link. We're not here just to get you subs. Now, I know that may sound rude, but on my YouTube, I've got 1,300 and something subs, which I know is not massive. It's not huge. But I've earned every single sub I've got, I believe. I've gone out, I've pushed myself to get better and better and better with the filming that I do, etc. and so on. And along with doing all that, I'm posting content all the time in the group that's not my YouTube link. So if you've got a YouTube and you want to post your link, that's fine if you're posting content as well that's not just your YouTube link. Does that make sense? We're not just an advertising page for people's YouTubes. So there's that. Right. That shocky is offy. Does that make sense, Lars? I'm not trying to sound rude or anything. I mean, I've been pretty fair with a lot of people, but there is a lot of people that just, and I've been removing the posts, so a lot of you guys may not have seen it. There's a lot of people that just post a YouTube link and that's it, and it's like, it's not good enough. This group isn't just about advertising someone's YouTube. It's about helping each other. It's about the fun of the hobby, etc. and so on. Now, I know YouTube videos can be fun. That's why I go and film mine. But it's not just about advertising yourself. So basically we're talking about the usual stuff like unrelated content or spam. Yep. This is a problem in all groups, sadly, and it's becoming worse. Exactly. And that's why I'm trying to stomp on it. So if you constantly post your YouTube link, nothing else, and I've deleted it 50 times and all you do is post your YouTube link, I will end up removing people, which I don't want to do. I don't. There's been, I think, 2 people in the history of this group that I've removed because of just posting their YouTube link. Bob says, I get it. Have you got a YouTube, Bob? I'd watch. I'd sub. So, yeah, it's about the fun of the hobby all round. You know, it's not just, oh, check out what I can do on YouTube. So, yeah. that was one of the things that really sort of annoyed me. Hamish has joined us. Thanks for joining, Hamish. Much appreciated, mate. Brian says, very logical. It's nice not to have to scroll through spammy McCrap to get through the stuff you want to see. Like, a lot of us see each other's builds and we're interested in what the person's doing and we want to see where they go with their build and how they go with it and help where they can, etc. and so on. So when we go through the group, we want to see how our mates are doing because a lot of us consider each other to be mates, which is one of the best things about this group. So, yeah, to scroll through the group and see posts that are just not related to RC or just YouTube links, it's just, no. It's not what the group's about. So if you've posted up stuff, don't spam my PM. Oh, the amount of shit that gets sent to me on a daily through my PM is ridiculous. Seriously, it's cruel. It's just, and I mean, I try and accommodate everyone. But man, the amount of shit I get sent is crazy. Unrelated post also scares away the newcomers. Exactly right too. In saying that too, Lars, you get a lot of newcomers that will just post YouTube links and stuff. And it's like, I know what you're doing. You're joining 100,000 groups and you're just posting your YouTube link in them. I had a guy message me and about 50 other people the other day, a big group message, and it was just a YouTube link. And it took everything I had not to say, are you serious, mate? If you want subs, do good videos and have people find your videos because of how good they are. Not, oh, that's tight. Someone said to me the other day, I'm getting sidetracked here, I know. Someone said to me the other day, are your hexes really tight with these wheels? And I was like, yeah, they were pretty tight. Johnny doesn't need PMs, okay? Johnny's fine. Johnny gets plenty of PMs, Hamish. Did that come off? Probably won't. Right, now, the reason these are so tight, someone said to me the other day, they got the exact same wheels, and they said, how did you go getting the wheel on? Was it hard? Because they couldn't get theirs on. I was like, it was pretty tight. I think the paint and such on the hex and these wheels is a bit thick. So if you do what I did, just crank it on there, it's going to be really hard to get off. So for now, they're going to stay on there. I can remove the rest of the axle and leave them on there. So that's what we're going to do. Because I'm not stuffing around with those all day. I'll give you the tip. My Chinese hub stick. It's all made in China, Tony. It's just the paint on it. It's not, oh, these wheels are shit because they're really tight to get on and off. It's when they've painted the hubs, the hex dealies, they put too much paint on it. And if you did what I did and just crank it on there, so you can take it off this way. If you did what I did and just go, it should be fine, wind her on there, well then you set yourself up for 20 minutes down the track getting your wheels off. Basically. I'll heat them up later and take a bit of paint off the hex. But for now, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for what I want to do today. I just want to open this up, pull the axles out, clean the grease off, re-grease it, put it back together. Just so I know that it's greased properly. And it gives me a chance to check the condition of the gears. I mean, those axles look fine. They look bloody damn near brand new, actually. Grab my greasy rag. So, have you got any new training wheels, Tony? Chinese brand. Mate, I dare you to verse everything against VP. I dare you. Because I guarantee you there's a lot of wheels out there that are just as good as quality that are going to cost you half as much money. I guarantee you. So that's our axles. They're damn near brand new. Now, I was having a chat with Mark last night. And he was saying that there's two different versions of gears in these trucks. Now, I've already pulled the front diff apart and seen the gears that's in the front, and they're V2s, which is good. BJ, brand new to the group as of last night. Ran into a few issues as a newbie asking questions about SCADA and other pages. Dennis recommended you in this page. Dennis is a pretty good bloke. Dennis is a good bloke. Welcome to the group, BJ. I hope you enjoyed here, mate. Paint is a kicker. Lots of too tight spaces are created by paint. Yes. Yes, Brian. This is very true. And once you be that clown that I was and just go, it'll be fine, and make the wheels just go on, the bolt was tight. I won't lie. If you just make it go on, you make things harder for yourself in the long run. Okay? So I will take those off later. I will get my soldering on. I will heat up the bolt, the axle bolt, and then just knock it through. That's what I'll do. But yeah. So, welcome to the group, BJ. I hope you enjoyed here, mate. If you do have any questions, always feel free to ask. Don't ever feel like... I was going to say don't feel like we're going to take the piss, but that's sort of half of what we do here. In a nice way, though. So, if you've ever got a question, mate, ask. We'll always help you. That's one of the best things about this group. There's so many people in this group that are willing to go out of their own way to help other people. It's awesome. We're all mates here. We do dumb live feeds and talk smack frequently. And the bumper, there's the front bumper. I haven't shown that for a while. File and grind, yeah. What I'll do, because it's just paint, I can probably get an old X-Acto blade and just scratch the paint off. It doesn't need much. And truth be told too, I honestly think the wheel hexes had a bit of dirt and shit on them too, like the grimy thick stuff, you know. So that wouldn't have helped either. My fault. So here's what we're working with. Not pretty. Okay. Very little grease, and what is in there is so tacky that it's not moving. Okay. Oh, look out, the kid that loses everything is here. Oscar, yes. HU Servo. What? What? Lars, today was a good day, a very good day. Okay, Lars, tell us all why. Hamish, yeah, ask by sending it in 10 messages to Johnny. Wouldn't be the first time, dude. Would not be the first time. There's been so many times where I will wake up to in excess of 50 or 60 messages, and it's people asking for help, so I help them. I never turn anyone away. But man, we also talk about why Traxxas is far superior to Cross. Tax refund came in. Awesome, dude. How'd you go? You don't have to disclose that sort of information if you don't want to. Right, so can confirm HD gears front and back, which is good. Jason Hoy's joined us. Tony, when I rebuilt my Blazer, I lost 2 screws. What were the screws for, Tony? This is why you need to buy multiple trucks and have extra spare screws everywhere. Now, what I'm going to do is get my knife. I'm going to double over my old grease rag. You have to have a grease rag. I'm just going to run this through the splines just to get any shite out of the gear. And then in a moment, I'll explain to people what the difference is with these Viteri gears with the V1s and the V2s and why you want V2s. Now, I know you said servo, Tony, but you got over 2... Jesus! That's some good tax back, dude. That is some good tax back. What are you going to buy? Go on a trip. That much money. Go on a trip, man. I hear Australia's nice. Right, so cleaning up the gears, and this is an important step to do. I know it's monotonous and it's boring, but clean out the shite between your gears. This way, when you put your truck back together, you have a lot less chance of anything going awry. And you'd be surprised how much gunk builds up. What's a tram set? I don't know who you're talking about, Tony. Neil, whatever your name is. So, Hamish, I can fully relate. Thankfully, on a small scale, getting 50 messages from different people asking having stuff can make for a long day. Yes, it can. There's very few times, like I say, I never turn anyone away, but there's very few times where I would just look at my phone, almost like cry a little bit inside, and just go, you know what, I'm just going to leave it for an hour. I need an hour without looking at my phone. So, for those of you playing at home, let me flip the camera around. Right. For those of you playing at home, this is a V2 gear, okay? Now, if you've got an ascender and it hasn't got this little ring piece at the back, this extra piece here that goes between, I know it's not focusing very well, sorry. If you don't have that little piece there, you've got V1s. Now, if you've got V1s, get rid of them and get V2s, because the V1s were terrible. I believe Harley Wilson had V1s in his, and it just chewed the crap out of the gears all the time. So get rid of those. Get rid of those and get yourself some V2s. Yeah, my pin. I say Mark Reverse. Not much I can do about that, Tony. Neil, why do I keep calling you Tony? Australia, Neil, Australia. Right, that's fine there. Clean this off, and then we'll clean the casing out, and then we'll apply some grease and we'll start putting this back together. RC Racing Buddy used to clean the spur gear. The spur gears between heats. Oscar, when did you get a Viterra? The other day. Where have you been? I got it for $100, Oscar. So I bought it. Nice scale cabinet. You were actually looking at the scale crapper. Oh, I've got stuff here everywhere. If you swipe the comments out of the way, you can see that is a scale crapper. There you go. Tony's on the ball 2 days ago. It was it 2 days ago? Must have been more than two. I think it was more than 2 days ago I got it, but I paid $100 for it. Oscar, I've been sick as a dog. Not good, mate. Not good. Hope you get better soon. I know we take the crap out of you here, mate, but we do give a shit. We don't want you being sick. Right, now clean out these coggerinos. You can also do this with a flathead screwdriver too, which probably works better. Because your X-Acto blade has a bad habit of going through the bloody cloth. Ew, gunky shite in there. There we go, that's working. I just want to get all that old crap out of the gears, so I know that when I put my clean grease in, scale shitter, yes, that's exactly what it is. There's a toilet roller in there and everything. Right. Thankfully there's not too much crap in here, it's just old grease. It was probably from factory because there wasn't a whole lot in there. So I would assume this truck never had the diff opened up and been checked or re-greased, etc. Which, when you buy a second-hand RTR, is quite often the case. So if you buy a second-hand truck, definitely open things up and give it a clean and a re-grease. There's the RTR, Tony. RTR, I believe. Bearings look good, which is good. They're just dirty. Dirty. Right, now I'm going to clean out the housing. Which, there's not much to clean out because there's not much grease in there. clean out the housing. I'm going to smush some grease in there. So what's everyone doing? What's your take on the TF2 and anything it would do to one? I personally, Hamish, have not had a huge amount of luck with RC four-wheel drive stuff. I haven't had any for a couple of years. Previously, I've not had much luck. In saying that, what I would do to one, and I'm being as nice as I possibly can, I'm not taking the piss, I would soften up the suspension as much as I can. You see a lot of trail finders when they're driving, and I don't know whether it's just because people are running all the leafs or what it is, but they look to run too stiff to me. Tony, yes, you can use degreaser if you want to pull everything out and degrease it all, but honestly, there's not enough on here to worry about. There's just not. Soften up the suspension. Tiny tyres. I'd try and pick some wheels that pull the tyres in a bit, and this is just because the Trailfinder body is a scale body. It's got lots of scale detail, but then you see the wheels and tyres poking out the sides, and it kind of, for me, it takes away from the scale detail side of it. So that's why personally I would try and keep up the scale a bit more, and a bit of grease around there. Yeah, some tiny tyres, some 1.55s, soften up the suspension. I would, and I guess if you were, they come with a fully moulded body, and the body's moulded in the colour. So you get a red truck, it's red, like the whole thing is red inside and out, essentially. It's not just painted red inside and out. It is, the plastic is red inside and out. I'd be really inclined to repaint it a different colour, but before I did that, I would paint the whole inside of the truck black, then mask that off, prime the outside, and then paint it so that you get a colour you want, unless of course you want red, but the colour you want. Once you've done all that, when the sun shines, you won't just see the sun shine through the plastic. And I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves with RC four-wheel drive trucks. When you look at pictures of them in the sun, you actually see the sun shining through the bodies, shining through the body itself, if that makes sense. That's something I'm not a huge fan of, if that makes sense. So that's what I'd do. I mean, I'm sure there's, like Mike's giving you suggestions too, I'm sure there's 101,000 different things out there you can do. I wouldn't worry about flex at all. If you run, I think it's just the red leaves. Run just the red leaves, you get a softer ride and a bit better flex, and the truck won't fall over as much. Because if I remember correctly, if you run it with all the leaves and it's really stiff, as soon as you go side hill, it's just going to want to fall over. Has the red super soft leaves. There you go. So yeah, that's my biggest thing, I guess, Hamish. Maybe look at some of those, the Boom Racing tiny tyres. I hate the red plastic. Me too. It's just, it makes it look cheap. And that's just my opinion. We're all entitled to those. But having a hard body, to me, is like the cross hard body. It turns up in grey plastic, you paint it. That's what a hard body is. A hard body shouldn't be, when the sun hits it, it goes through it. That's just my opinion. Robert Gollan's joined us. Hello, Robert Gollan. So yeah. And then, yeah, the interior, go nuts. Nothing more scale. Oh, God, here we go. Okay, so since Robert's brought it up, We haven't talked about that yet, Robert, so thanks for joining us. Okay, the scale post discussion. I'm going to have a swig of my iced coffee before this one because I'm going to need it. So, the scale post that I shared. Now, the whole idea of the post, as far as I can tell, via reading what it says, is this is the scale, what does it say, the scale section or something or other along those lines. So I assume it's about, okay, which truck is more scale? Because that's how it reads. Now, there's a lot of trucks that have been put in that that voting dealie poll. There's a lot of trucks that have been put in that poll that aren't very scale at all, that are being put up against trucks that are scale. Now, what does a truck have to be scale? Does it need to be real? No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. Being scale is about being realistic. So, that means the SP4 and the SG and all that sort of stuff, the cross trucks, are a good example. I need some more grease. Are a good example. They have a light-up dashboard and a full interior. And it's not just a full interior, it's a 70s design interior, and it looks like something you would see in a truck in the 70s. Okay? So that, therefore, makes it scale. Now, the recent truck that the Cross is up against is what? The TRX4 Bronco. No, the Gen 8, sorry. Now, the Gen 8. It's on portal axles. Can someone tell me if the old International Scout was on portals? I don't think it was. Oh, so just for those wondering, that's how much grease we've gone with. Right, now everything smooth, buttery smooth. Do not fill your diff with grease. Okay, don't pack it full. You'll just end up putting load on everything. I've got enough grease in there so that I can move. You notice when I have a direction change, it pulls the grease. That's what you want. That way your grease will go from sitting in one spot. When you back your truck up, it'll pull some fresh grease around, throw it around the gear and such, and work its way through again when you start going forwards again. So don't pack your diff full of grease. Just put a healthy amount in there. March bashness is a popularity contest. Well, see, and it's sort of a contradictory statement, isn't it? March bashness, which truck's more scale? Scale trucks and bashers are two completely different things. So it sort of doesn't make sense. Scouts, straight axles. I thought that was the case now. So, I mean, we could argue the point, well, International Scouts didn't have portals, so that truck's not scale at all. International Scouts didn't have big plastic flares, so that truck's not scale at all. But, I mean, they didn't have stuck on black windows, so it's not scale at all. It's a 10th scale truck, which is the common scale, obviously. But that's not my version of scale. My version of scale is, say, 1 to 3 is something like a Gen 8, right? Nah, the Gen 8's probably 4 to 5 because it's got light buckets and a few extra details and such. But what I mean is, before anyone gets upset with me, it's a Lexan body truck with windows you can't see through. It's just that. It's just a Lexan body truck. Scale, when you sort of go up the scale list of scale, is when you start getting full interiors, clear windows, that sort of thing. Opening bonnets, opening doors, those sorts of things. That's where your scale comes in. So if you put two trucks up against each other and you have on there about the scale something, is someone read that post for me and tell me what it says? There's somewhere there's the scale something. But anyway, if you put two trucks against each other and you've got one that's a hard-bodied truck with a full interior, light-up dashboard, all the jazz, up against a Lexan body with blacked-out windows, no interior, that sort of thing, apples and oranges. One's scale and one's not. That's my opinion on it. So that's why I was a bit confused as to why they've even put the two up with each other. I don't know. If it was my poll, it'd be a list of scale trucks against scale trucks. And then I'd do which is your favourite as a poll, and then do all the Lexan body trucks. There was one Lexan body truck on the first part of that poll that I had to Google. I'd never seen it before. And from what I hear, it's a good thing, because apparently it's really shit. Can anyone remember what truck it was up against the TRX4 in the first round? I've never heard of it. I had to Google it. How bad's that? There's not very many vehicles I haven't heard of. I'll give you the tip. Mike, the Gen 8 is huge. That's all well and good. I don't mind if it's huge. Like, my PG4 is massive. It's a tank. The TRX4 is pretty big too. So I would say the Gen 8 is sort of comparable with the size of the TRX4 Bronco, because that's not a small truck, which I'm fine with. Yeah. Please, if you're doing up bolts and stuff in these plastic diff covers, do not over tighten them, because you will squish them out, and it makes it really hard for the next sucker to put bolts in it. Okay, because they're over squished. Mike, even my Gen 8 has clear windows and interior, and it's still not really scaled. So Mike gets it. Mike understands. I mean, yes, people can buy a clear body and they can paint it and they can do what Mike's done. That's got an interior and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, Mike owns these trucks, and he's the first one to say it's not scaled. Have you tried the ARCR12 TT Hilux? No, I haven't. There's a big list of trucks I want. It just costs a lot of money to buy these trucks. There's no two ways about that. Right, so I'm going to put my axles back together and put it on the truck. Now that we've greased that up. But the Scout was nowhere near as big as the Bronco. Well, see, we had some Scouts and stuff over here, Mike. I don't know exactly what model they were, but they weren't small. They were a pretty big bit of kit. You going to cooperate? Or I got the wrong side? Neil, have you seen the prices of some of these interiors and such? Crazy, man. Crazy. And that's not me being a douchebag. Some of the prices of some of this 3D printed stuff is just... the reason I haven't got a lot of that 3D printed stuff. It's just ridiculously expensive. I understand it takes a lot of time to design this stuff. It takes a lot of time to print this stuff. But I mean, it's expensive. There's got to be a way of having it not be so expensive. I can't see my butthole. There we go. Will that line up now? Anthony's joined us. Thanks for joining, Anthony. Very much appreciated. So yes, did I clear up any indiscrepancies with my what's scale and what's not scale chat? Because I did notice there were some people that were reading my comments on that post, and I don't think they were understanding exactly what I meant. Neil, prices are insane in this hobby. Yep, on a lot of stuff they are. Chris has joined us. Hello, Chris. I didn't see you come in, mate. They were more like the size of the little Broncos. See, the ones we had here were reasonably big. Lovely. Right, let's come back together. top tip, do not over tighten lockout screws. If you strip them, swear words. That's what comes next. Buy a printer, much more cost effective. It's on my list, okay? As you guys know, it's been on my list for quite some time now, but I get distracted by fancy toys that I must have. I'm my own biggest enemy. I get distracted by all these fancy toys that I must have, and I buy those, and then forget about the printer, and then down the track go, oh, I want to throw out a printer. Lovely. Oh wow, that reminded me of something to make. What are you making, mate? Who reminded you? And you're going to make an extra one and send it to that person free. Last, I can now get a couple of bigger printers. Like you need more. They're saying Scout with a full-size truck. I do recall the ones we had here. I mean, we didn't have a lot. But I do recall the ones we had here being pretty decent size. Okay, so that is ready to go back in the truck. Wicked. So I'll start doing that. I'm going to swig my drink. So was there any more questions in regards to the whole scale post, etc.? Did anyone not understand exactly where I was coming from? I think I explained it pretty well. Tell you what, before I put that back in, I'll use 2 cross trucks for this example. Okay. See, we have 2 cross trucks. Not scale, scale. Now I know it's technically the same body, but this one, Lexan body posts, no interior, okay? Yep, it's got see-through windows, that's because I painted it myself. Not scale. Even though it's got a nice grille that you bolt on, and it's got a full light kit, and it's got the tail lights and all that sort of things, this is not what you would call a scale truck. This is the Lexan body truck. This, however, full hard body truck, full interior, opening bonnet, those that haven't seen it, opening bonnet, right, detailed engine bay, opening back where you change your battery, the whole deal. This is a scale truck. Now, if I had this sitting on a bench, and I had a Gen 8 sitting on the bench next to it, and I said you get to pick one of these trucks for free, which one would you take? Robert, that's still more scale than a Gen 8. It is. That FR4C, more scale than a Gen 8. Sorry, but it is. So tell me, which would you pick? This or a Gen 8? And why? This sort of gets my whole point across with what my argument was about that whole poll and why you should go and vote for the cross truck, because it is about 50,000 times more scale than a Gen 8. Right. I need to remember that one. That one. Remember. It's just very, very convenient to have more. When you print a part for 14 hours on one, you'll end up doing a long queue if you don't have any more. 14 hours is a long time to print one piece. This is true last. I mean, if I get to the point where, I'll get to the point one day where I buy a 3D printer, I know I will. But I don't think I'll go and buy a big fancy one. I'll buy one that, I'm not going to be printing full bodies. Gen 8, I wouldn't mind scratching it. Have you seen the scratches I've put on that truck? Like, don't buy a truck that you're scared to drive. There's no point. What is the point? Buy it, enjoy it. That is the whole point of RC. Fun. Go and have fun with your truck, even if it means scratching up a pretty one. I remember there's been a few times over the years, Tony Gutierrez has said to me, I've got so much respect for the fact that you spend all this time building these trucks and then you actually go and use them. You get them dirty. You scratch them, you know? It's like, well, what's the point of building it if I'm not going to drive it? I can take 101,000 photos in my scale garage, but it's not until it's outside and it's got some real life dust on it, and it's not until you do that that your truck looks like a proper truck. That's my opinion. Robert, I think the poll should have pics so that people... Yes, exactly. Exactly. But and this is the thing, like, there probably is a lot of people out there that don't know what these cross trucks look like. And how unfortunate for those people, I will say. Because they're missing out. But, yeah, should definitely have pictures. I'm going to have to take that drive shaft off, aren't I? Who I am. Who cares? I'll take it off. Right. Linkies. Shockies. Remember what bolties go where? Now, Tony, you were saying something earlier about servos, and you confused me. What were you talking about? That sounds terrible, but... No shelf queens. Exactly right. I've said it the whole time. I don't build shelf queens. I know you don't, Mike. No, 72 hours is a long print. Screw that. What happens if... I hope I don't jinx anyone here. What happens if halfway through a print your power goes out? Do you just swear and carry on lots? One of those springs is slightly lazier than the other ones. It's fine. Do you just cry or what? I think I would. So what's everyone doing whilst I'm doing this? I know what Cross RC is, but all the other PG4, there's no PR4, there's no PL4C, there's no PF4G. I get what you're going with here. I have a hard time remembering what the letters represent. Okay, once I put this on, I'll give you the quick explanation. Essentially, you have your PG series, right? Your PG series is stuff like the big dually, PG4L. That's a PG. My orange truck, that's a PG. The PG series uses that style of body, right? Then you've got like the Demon series. So the first Demon was the SG4C and any other SG4 models. The A, B, and C, and D or whatever represented essentially how fancy the model was that you got. So if you got the A model, you got the base. Plastic diffs, plastic trans cover, plastic gearbox cover, all that sort of thing. If you got the C version, we had all the fancy bits. So you've got the metal everything. So that's essentially what your SG versions are. Then you've got like your SP. Is there a R-rated series? Not this group, there's not Robert. Is there a Robert-rated system? No. Then like you've got your SP. Well, the SP is the sports pickup, I believe. So that is the ute, the truck, whatever you want to call it. That's that model. The SU, which is this one, is the SUV. So there's little ways like that of remembering which truck's what. But yeah, you soon get the hang of it. Steve, I have an Ender 3 printer. I did see a post somewhere the other day, Steve, where someone had one of those and reckoned they were pretty good. I'm a dickhead. Just mounted that shock upside down. Wah! Bloody hell. There's nothing worse than doing the same thing twice for nothing. I'm going to have to take that one back off now. You guys are distracting me. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. fine, mate. Happens to the best of us. Right. Lovely. You don't need an industrial printer for a hobby, trust me. I don't. I think if I get a printer, I will just use it to print. This one's not. The other one is. I just said that, Chris. I've got to change it. You guys are distracting me. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. If I get a printer, it'll be something that I can just print small handy stuff with. Like if I think up some sort of bracket I can use on a chassis. If I want to design my own wheels, things like that. I mean, I was speaking with Stephen the other day. I can't remember how you pronounce your last name, Steve, sorry. But I was speaking with Steve the other day and I showed him some old 3D pictures of wheels I designed in the past. And he's like, dude, you should be designing wheels. I was like, well, one day. It's on my list. I'll get there. Right. Top tip, install your shocks the correct way up. Or at least have all four the same way. Then no one will notice. Anyway, this stuff happens. It's good to see you lads are chatting, replying to each other's and having some good, helpful conversations. It's good. Right. Flip the truck and should be the right way up. Yeah, but then that makes the rest of them the wrong way up. It's all good. Fix now. Quick fix. So yes, my plan is I've got to take the drive shaft off and redo that too. Don't let me forget. So the plan is, once this truck's all up and running, which is as soon as these parts turn up, however long they're going to take, as soon as the truck's up and running, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to do a YouTube video of it, and then I'm going to advertise it. Oh, the whole bar's spinning. Handy. Right, winning people. This truck has now pretty much been fully rebuilt. Like a brand new one. I did notice the other day too that they had the steering drag link and such set up wrong. So I fixed that, which is a good, quick, easy fix. Send it off a cliff. I think I'd get too many people even more upset with me, Robert, than they were the other day. People like being sensitive. I did laugh pretty hard though when I seen that gif you posted. That was top-notch giffery. That was well played. Right, pull that off there. Make sure my drive shaft is correctly in phase, so I don't get that horrible wobble forwards. Now, if you don't know how to phase your drive shafts, watch my YouTube videos. It's easier for you to look on there than show you on this truck, because this truck's a bit of a pain with the drive shafts to do it. Mike, lol, you kids. Mark said to me last night, oh, you're going to drive that truck and you're going to fall in love with it. I laughed a lot, and I said, I really don't think that's going to happen, Mark. I really don't think that's going to happen. I'm not too concerned about falling in love with this truck. It's rewarding to restore a truck, to give it a bit of its former glory back. But it is what it is. Wicked. So now, this truck's pretty well ready for the motor cover for a new spur gear. Upon further inspection, that spur gear is actually rat shit. Let me grab my favourite dusty brush, scale broom. I'll clean off the spur gear and then I'll show you why it needs a new one. And I'll show you why you don't run a bloody spur gear without a cover. Flip the camera around. Feast your peepers on that, would you? Have a go at that. This, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is why you do not run without a cover for your spur gear. Okay? Now, I can guarantee you 110% a rock has gotten in there and it has ground itself up against here, and then that rock's flown out, and that's another little rock, and that's another little rock, and then there's like one little good bit. So do not run without a cover. That spur gear is McShagged. I'm glad I ordered a new one. And that's why this sounds so noisy. Because it's choking itself on bits of shitty spur gear. Right. Yeah. Harley's joined us. Thanks for joining, Harley. I don't know what's done with my stand there. So that's that. My phone's crooked now. I blame Harley. He was the last to join. So that's got the chassis. That's all ready to go now. Oh, I do need to put these back on. Is that a 84.5 tooth? Yes, it's the rare. The rare. I forget how many tooth count they are, but yes, the 0.5 tooth. Hamish, right, better get back to work. See ya, mate. Thank you for joining. Very much appreciated. Take care. Yes, it's the rare 0.5 tooth. Well played, Robert Govan. You're very quick on the ball, mate. I like that. I grew up with 3 brothers and a sister, so we had to be quick on the ball too. I can relate. So that chassis now is ready for the new front and rear bumpers, the cover, and then I think it's ready to drive. I'm going to do my typical... I just want to get some more of the dust off it. My goal is, when someone looks at this truck to buy it, I want them to go, holy shit, that truck's actually really tidy. That's what I'm going for. I want them to feel like they're getting a truck that's being looked after. Now, I know, obviously, previously it wasn't brilliantly looked after. I mean, it wasn't thrashed and bashed and treated like crap or anything, but it could have done with a little bit of attention. But I want people to look at it and go, that's actually a tidy truck, and I'm not going to stress about paying my money for it, because it's the guy that's done it right. If that makes sense. Take care of your toys, people. Take care of your toys. Takes all but a moment to grab one of these brushes out. These are awesome. And just dust everything down. It makes everything look tidier. It helps you be more proud of what you've got. I think that's important. Especially when your toys are expensive as our toys are. And it's actually really rewarding just sitting here brushing your truck off with them. It's really good. You should try it. It's very therapeutic. Top life tips here on BCRC. It's just so good. I will grab some wire ties out, zip ties, whatever you want to call them, and tidy up all the wiring, because that's another one of those little things that make your truck look more looked after and tidier, and like you give a shit about your truck, which is important. You have to give a shit. Lovely. Brand new truck. Still not falling in love with it though. Mike George has joined us. Thanks for joining, Mike. Right. Next on my list, I'm going to have a quick look at smashing some lights in the front of this truck. Now, I did consider making up my own housings and putting some lights in the rear, I can do that with some of this high impact polystyrene. So if I decide to do that, I can. Now, I've got some lights here that I got off Wish. Now this is called cheating, and sometimes I don't mind cheating. 4 of these are white, 4 of them are red. Okay, a lot of lights there. So what I'm thinking is I can use 4 whites in the front, and I can use 2 reds in the back. So I'll just cut 2 of the reds off here, and then that plugs into your receiver. That's simple. Warm white. I'm not going to that much effort. It's a truck to tidy up and sell. If it was a truck that I was doing for myself, yep, I'd do the whole warm lights, etc. What I can do dip the globe in this. Let me try something, Lars. No, let me stop getting distracted by Lars first. Terrible, Lars. Use Velcro strips. Double-sided tape's also good too. That's not cheating, that's how I do it. Or usually, Mike, like, especially with trucks like, or not the cross trucks, they come with their own light kits. Like the camel truck over there, I go and buy all the LEDs, the wire, the resistors, and build the whole light kit myself. But these are about $2 or $4 on Wish. Why wouldn't you? So if you want an easy light kit that just stays on, get them off Wish. Buy like 5 sets of these, and then just sit them in your drawer and use them when you want to use them. Right, so I'm going to take these backings off, light holders. World's longest tiny bolt. 4 red in the back. I don't need 4, really. I can just build a little box and put a red light there. I wouldn't have the room for 4. So yes, I'm going to undo this world's longest tiny bolt that holds a light housing dealy on. That is ridiculously long. Still going. What? Dear Viterra, this to hold on a LED holder is overkill. God, could be half that at least. It's ridiculous. Silly as it sounds, little things like that save money. They also save people a lot of time too. Just poke the leads in the rear bumper. I could, but then someone will whinge. Oh, you didn't do the lights properly. People like whinging at me, Robert. Fact. Right, now I need to plug in the lights. So I've got to undo the receiver box, and I need to suss out which colour's what. I can't guess it because those bolts are epic. They're just stupid. That's just retarded. Why ain't it got something like here? If that's the same thread, good, I'll replace them. That's all it needs, okay? Alright, that's all it needs. That's what it's got. It's just cray-cray. It's like this receiver box. I changed all the receiver box bolts too because they were massively long. They just don't need to be. Lawrence has joined us. Hello, Lawrence. Right, so my goal now is just to power up the truck make sure one of these lights work. Because if they don't, I'm not putting lights in the body. I'm pretty sure they do. Or I could just order another set off Wish. Yeah, when you were saying earlier, someone was saying about put some yellowy globes and such in it. What you can actually do is dip your LED in X20S Tamiya clear orange. Dip your LED in that, and once the white hits it, it'll look like that colour you're after. Right, channel 3. Plug that in there. Turn the radio on. Grab a battery. This will do. I'm sure it's got charge in it. Just plug that in. Flick that on. Right. So, we're now going to make sure we have the correct lights together. What? This is important. Did you center your servo? Yes. Yes, I did. I did do that, Robert. Red. That's a white. Where was that red? Hang the red over the body post. Keep the white for myself. White for myself. Red. Loop that around. Hang that over the body post. Another red. Hang it over the body post. Another red. Hang that over the body post. Now, I'm going to grab some of my Tamiya masking tape here and mask these up. So now I know the ones with the masking tape are my reds. Okay. We'll have fibre next week. Oh, good, mate. Good. That is awesome. Having dial-up internet is pretty shite these days. Right, so I'm going to turn the truck off. Now, with these particular globes, I've got to do a plastic piece on here. I have to get rid of the plastic piece. Knife. I just believe this was how I did it last time. Slide my knife in there. Do not cut your fingers open. And if you do, it's not my fault. I said don't cut your fingers open. Now I should be able to split that open, slide it off the wires. Should be able to. Lovely. Now, this stuff. I'm going to dip my globe in here. This is a bit boring, this bit. I need all the excess to run off. Lovely. And now, of course, I need that to dry. I'm going to speed up the process. Get rid of that excess. Speed up the process a bit. This clear stuff generally does dry reasonably quickly, but this is a way of giving your lights that yellowed look that people were talking about if you're using bright white globes. Now hopefully when I turn this on it won't go poof. It shouldn't. You can already see in that shine, wherever it is, that shine there, that it's yellowed the globe. Especially compared to this. Ta-da! How's that for a trick, Lars? Yellowed globes. That easy. Anyone can do it. Literally all you do is dip a globe. Make sure you don't have too much excess on it. So I'm going to dip. Actually, I've got to take all the plastic pieces off. Annoying. I see it says last. That's cool. Anything that you can do like that, that'll give you the look you're going for and takes no time to do it, is cool, I reckon. Alright, hang that there so that dries. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll cut more of these off. I believe this was the first set of lights I got that had these protectors on it. But if you don't cut the protector off, you can't put the LED into the... You can't have like the backing plate of the light to hold it on. So while I'm faffing about, what's everyone else up to? Because this isn't very exciting. Get off there. Jeebus. Steve's off. Speak soon. No worries, Steve. Thanks for joining, mate. Very much appreciated. Dippy dippy. You can use a hairdryer and drive these. Vitara, leave a light out. Oh, like one's blown. You going to stir people up, Chris? It's pretty funny, though. Cheating. Now, don't go dipping these lights more than once, because if you do, they will look orange. Hardly working? Well, sort of. Not doing anything tonight, just chilling with you guys. Nice. So that's two. Hopefully I can just smash these straight in here. I'm going to have to take the rest of this out. The rest of the world's longest bolt. Hopefully this won't take too long. I'll only do the front lights on the feet. I'm not going to worry about doing the back lights because I've got to build the boxes and shit for those. Right, so that goes that way. We want to put headlight. I assume that goes like that. I'm not going to put park lights on it. If you want park lights on it, buy the truck and put it on yourself. Basically. Right. Do up the world's longest bolt. I'm going to change this one. Give me... I know why they're so long. Because that's designed stupidly. These bolts are this stupidly long because they go all the way through this light housing and then into the grill. So yeah, that's awesome. Nothing but should be doing something. Nothing wrong with doing nothing sometimes, mate. Sometimes nothing's the best thing you can be doing. Sorry if this is boring. Right. That one's where that needs to be. Any questions? Right, I'm going to screw this one straight back in. I know I should probably do more different stuff first, but I'm doing it. Then I'm going to turn the truck back on and see how it looks, because I like to see how things look. I'm sure I'm not the only person out there that does this. We can get this to line up properly. Tony's back. Last, pretty tired. Been doing some boring garden work and washed my car. Also been talking with the excavator. We had great weather here today. That's good. That's much better than lots of snow, mate. I did feel for you when I seen that picture the other day. It's like, jeez. Like, how do you live there? Snow like that. Okey pokey. Sort of a good mix of yellowed and white in there. If I wanted to go anal, I could take them off and go nuts. Anyway, I'll show you this. How long has this feed been going for, people? It's a bit hard to tell with how the light shines on it. Gives you a bit of an idea. It's not a perfect white light, but it's lights. It's a bit more detail for the dirty old Vatera. So yeah, what is the time? 10:43. Might be near time to call it a day anyway, I think. We've been here for a while, and all I'm doing now is just faffing about. So, was there any questions anyone had about anything we talked about, or anything before we call it a day? Obviously, once the feed finishes, I'll stuff around with this. I'll build some little light boxes. If you want, good enough, it's only Vatera. I'll build some little light boxes for the back and put one brake light in behind each one. I will have to paint that light box black. If I don't, light's going to shine everywhere and it'll look shit. Okay. Settings on the tactic controller. It's really quite simple, Tony. This is for Tony's benefit. I'll unplug that. And I should be able to set all of that there for now. Okay. So, turn your truck off, right? This is really quick for Tony's benefit. How to set endpoints with Tactic TDX 300. Truck's off. We'll turn the radio off. Okay. Brush the dust off it. Anyway, so we're going to hold the throttle flat out. We're going to turn full lock right, and then we're going to turn the radio on. And when we do, you'll notice the top light flashes. Then we let go of everything, right? Now, to set the steering to the right, we hold right. And then we turn our truck on. Got to turn your truck on, right? Hold the steering full lock right. And then on your little channel buttons here, the top one will push your steering further. The bottom one will make it less. And then you turn left and do the same thing. The down button gives you less steering. The up button gives you more steering, right? Then turn your truck off, turn your radio off, turn your radio back on, turn your truck back on. You've set your endpoints with the TTX 300. That simple. Told you it was easy. How's that, Tony? Oh, Lars has a question. Yes, Lars, you in the back there. Top tip, do not leave batteries in your trucks. Do not leave them plugged in. That's easy. It is very easy. And this is one of the reasons why I really like these radios, because they are simple to use. The third channel on these radios can actually have up to 4 or 5 switchings, if that makes sense. Lars, is it okay if I post links to my Facebook page? What Facebook page? Are you starting your own Lars print in 3D dealie, are you? See more. See more? Come on, cooperate. See more. Facebook page with Pixel. saves a lot of time. Oh, so you mean can you share sort of straight from your Facebook page to here? Is that what you mean, Lars? Chris says 4 positions. Yeah, so there you go. And to do... Shit, I forget how to do it now. To do the third channel positions, I think you hold the down button and turn the radio on. I mean, you can Google Tactic TTX 300 space manual space PDF, and you will find the manual for this. I know you will find it. I've downloaded it before. And go down and read through channel 3 instructions, and it will tell you how to set the endpoints on your channels. Essentially, I think you do, once you get into that channel, you hold, say, your up button to set one endpoint, and then hit right, and that'll lock it in. And then you hold the down one, and then do it again, and that'll lock it in again. But just Google that manual tone, and you'll find it. If I share my post in your group, and you can share your post in the group, this you're still you're posting content that we like to see. You know, we've known you for a long time here, Lars. You're not just some dude that's just joined the group and you're spamming YouTube links. Or, I mean, there's some people in this group that have been in the group for quite a long time, and all they post is YouTube links. So if you post just YouTube links and you wonder why you can't find your post or no one likes it, it's because I've deleted it. Because we're not just about YouTube links. Sorry. Right, top tip. If you spill any paint on your desk and it's like lino tiles like I'm using, Tammy polycarbonate body cleaner. This stuff. There's a little bit of clear orange paint here. A quick little like that. God, lovely. Do you use BCRC in any of your servos? I do. Here's one I prepared earlier. I've always got spare stuff like this laying around, because you should have them laying around. So this is a UBEC external BEC. Okay. Instructions that are in here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to install it. If you can't read, message me. But then you can't, because you can't read. I didn't get much sleep last night. These are like $3 each, and they can make the world of difference. You've got 2 different voltage settings, I think 5 and 6 or something like that. I recommend these. These with a 20 kilo servo, magic. They don't take long to install. I'm just Robert bloody Golan. You are when you win. I've had a Facebook. Do you mean your personal Facebook page, Lars, or do you mean like a Lars's RC page? I'm assuming you mean your own page. Just share. So you post on your own page and then just share it into the group. Brain fart. So yes, external BEC. Recommend these. They're pretty good. What's BEC for? So essentially you run battery power straight to it's a hobby wing, Neil. You run battery power straight from the battery to your servo. So you're not drawing servo power from the receiver. That way, if you've got lights and that sort of shit running off your receiver, you're not going to get flickery lights and stuff if your servo draws a lot of power. If you run a Savox servo, you have to have one of these. Savox servos draw a lot of power. An RC page. Why haven't I seen your RC page, Lars? I don't recall seeing it. So yes, I use an external BEC. Not on everything. My TRX4's got one. I put one in that because it's a pretty heavy truck. That doesn't, but that's because it's got its own little chipboard where you essentially run 2 wires straight from your ESC battery wires through the chipboard, and then that powers the servo. So the servos in that truck are getting 11.1 volts. Thirsty. So thirsty. Well, share your page, mate. Share your page. I don't recall seeing it. I feel bad now. Do you run it straight to the servo or power to the receiver? I run it to the servo because that way I'm not sharing, as bad as it sounds. I mean, everything else doesn't need a whole lot of power. The ESC is already getting its battery power from the battery. Anything else that's running off the receiver doesn't require much power. So that gets its power through the ESC. The servo can have 100% juice that it needs through the BC. That's how I do mine. I mean, if you run your BEC into the receiver, there's a chance that something else in your receiver won't like the voltage. Poof. I mean, most servos will take at least 7.4 volt anyway. So if, like I say, they're 6 volt, so you're getting 6 volt all the time to your servo. If your servos are 6 volt and it's running through your receiver, most receivers cap at 5.5. Could you show us the connection? You're a pain in the ass, Tony. Bumper time. Ugh. Been a while since this one's seen the light of day. Right, so for those that don't know, this is the TRX4. Let me just get all these extra straps off the top that were holding the boat down. This is my TRX4, so I'm not just a cross fanboy. I've got lots of different trucks. Now, rip that body off, undo all my extra wanky plugs that I don't need. Top tip, because we have lots of top tips here. If you've got a light key or something like that on your truck and it's got multiple plugs, grab a silver Sharpie or something like that and do a certain little marking. If you slide the comments out of the way, you can see what I'm talking about. A certain marking on this whilst it's plugged into the other end. That way your markings line up and you know exactly which one plugs into what. Okay. Oh, I don't even know where I've stuffed my BEC. Right. So, rotates. Okay, so this is my ESC, obviously. This is the power wire to the ESC. The power wire from... Okay. This positive and negative I've attached to my ESC battery wire, okay? This positive and negative goes around to... This reminds me, I've got to fix this. I broke a wire while I was out wheeling. See this? That's an on-the-trail fix. Goes into... Which one does it go into? I've got a wire here somewhere. It's been so long since I've done anything with this truck. That goes into there. Right, so... essentially what happens is the positive and negative here go into this plug here, which goes to my servo plug, okay? So my earth and my power are coming from this. And then I've just got my signal wire, which I need to repair, going into the receiver. Does that make sense? So on here, I've got this plugged into like an extension plug. The positive and negative go to my servo, and then the white from your servo goes through to your receiver. Does that make sense? I know it's a bit of a mess in there. Oh, God, this thing's heavy. Let me see if I can explain it better. Not really. So, those 3 black wires are my servo, right? The white wire is my signal wire, which goes into the receiver box. The black and red there is from the BEC, which is stuck there. So hopefully that helps you. And this is just running the aeration 20 kilo inch controller on top. And for those that have missed it, the bumper. Obviously it doesn't look as fancy when the body's not on it, but does that help you, Tony? That's how I wire mine up. So all the direct power from the battery leads. So we get full juice in here, full juice through here. Power goes down through to the servo. Signal from the servo goes into the receiver box. I hope that helps. Right, now put the phone back in the holder. Flip that around. So yes, that's how that's done. There's going to be some more goodies. The Hobby King UB waterproof. I don't know if it's waterproof, but it is the Hobby Wing. I think it is. Yes, Hobby Wing. 2 to 6S lipos it'll take. So it's pretty good. I rate these. Wish app, they're like half the time they're free and you just pay the shipping. So always have some of these in your drawer. Your drawer of many things, which I'm sure most of us have. Hopefully soon, I think Samix is coming out with some more goodies. This truck could do with a run. It could do with a bit of a strip down and a re-grease and stuff like that too, actually, truth be told. But, yeah. That's how I do mine, Tony. I do like this truck. It's bloody heavy. I will get to the point one day. Where when Samix stops making stuff for this truck, I'll probably sell it. I know that sounds dumb, but I enjoy driving my cross trucks more. So I could remove this and then have bloody another cross truck. So if Samix keeps making stuff for it, I'll keep it. I know he's got a couple more parts coming out. New battery holder, nice fancy battery holder, some diff gears and such, lockers. Wish, you say? I deleted the app. Wish is pretty good. As long as you're patient, Wish is good. Generally speaking, for me to get something for Wish, I'm looking around 2 weeks, which, it is what it is. If you wait a month, who cares? It was cheap. If you wait a month and it doesn't turn up, message them and say it hasn't turned up. 99.95% of the time they'll say, here's a refund. If it turns up, keep it anyway. If they don't say that, they'll say, give it a few more days, and then usually it turns up anyway. If you're not happy with anything with Wish, send them an email through the app with a picture of why, and then they'll refund you and tell you to keep what you got sent. I removed the power and ground wire from the ESCs. Yeah, you don't have to do that because I'm not running through the receiver. Does that make sense? I don't have to remove the ESC middle red wire. That's why, and that's another reason I go straight to the servo instead of to the receiver. Does that make sense, Neil? Now, someone, who was it? Neil? You put on a 4-7 sodium battery to run it. When power the receiver off the ESC, everything works. When using a receiver battery as recommended by the servo manufacturer. What? When power the receiver off the ESC, everything works. When using a receiver battery as recommended. No, what you do is you run it how I've run it. So if I plug a battery into my truck right now, my servo has power. Okay, and this is a big reason why, especially if you're using external BC, you don't leave your batteries plugged in because you will just drain them. If you just run yours how I've got mine, your battery that drives your truck powers your servo. In my opinion, you don't need, I see people do it, but you don't need a little battery at the front of the truck to run your servo, and then another battery to run the actual truck, and then another battery to run your lights. You don't need it. LED lights use next to nothing as far as power goes. Run them off your receiver. Run your truck. Run everything off one battery. Right? What's this one? 5200 2S. That will run this truck for 3.5 hours. And that's hauling around a crap ton of brass, the full light kit, the winch, the whole deal. So this is a part of what I was saying the other day when I said that there's too many people out there that will say, no, you have to run this off this battery and this off this battery and this off this battery. It's the only way to do it. It's not the case. It's just you're making life harder for yourself for nothing. The hobby's about fun. It's not about making it hard work. So if you don't have to run 100 different batteries, don't. I'm not a fan of running an extra 9-volt battery to run LEDs. I'd much rather just plug it into a channel on my receiver and be done with it. They use next to nothing. I mean, especially too, if you do a basic light kit with just 2 front lights, 2 back lights, that's all you need. You're going to use nothing. Basically, the ESC signal light only works when not using the battery. Send me some pictures and stuff, Neil, if you want me to go over all that and try and help you figure out that. It's weird. Tony, or expensive. Yeah, you're buying extra batteries for nothing. I ran nickel metals for a long time before I finally went, oh, I better get some lipos. Chris, have to go. That's all right, mate. I'm about to go too. Have to go and pick up an RC parcel. Jelly. Hopefully I'll have some parcels turn up real soon. I can get this Viterra finished and get that out of my garage. I'll send you a vid. All right, now. Sounds good. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Give it a share. We had 1 share on the last live feed. There's 2,100 and something people in this group and had 1 share on the live feed. Tony, I use 3S for everything. Why? Why, Tony? I've got a challenge for you, Tony. Buy or borrow a 2S battery. Put that 2S battery in your SCX10. Go and drive it for 30 minutes. Then put the 3S battery. A 3S battery isn't going to last longer than a 2S battery if they're the same milliamp hours. If you drive your truck properly. This is not. Don't care what anyone says. Drive your truck on 2S, then drive it on 3S 30 minutes each time, and you tell me which one you can drive smoother with. I know the answer. It's 2S. It's true. That truck there, when I ran it on 2S, stupid smooth. It's not as smooth now, it's on 3S. What time is it my time? 11 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. Try that test, Tony. Borrow one of Try's 2S batteries if he's got one. And see what you think. Alright, thank you very much everyone for watching. Give it a share if you like. I'm sure there's someone out there that may find a tip or trick or may enjoy watching these things. Obviously, the more views we get, the more I can do, the more I want to do, etc. So, but to do all this stuff, we need views. We need views. We need people to stop and take notice. I've said it earlier on that my goal this year is to work with one company, have them send me a truck so that I can give it to one of you guys. That's still a goal, but for that sort of thing to happen, we're going to need some views. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Have fun with the hobby of RC and help each other out. That's what it's all about. All right. Talk to you soon. Beep.